He's the end of March and 2020. Anyway, I don't want to talk about the virus. Around. But anyway, there's this book I discovered in 1999, before the Y2K scare, called Spirituality Through Imperfections. And what I've been doing is pulling out imperfections. We're human, and we're all connected by we're connected by our souls too, but the human side of everything, we have imperfections and things like that. And so I pulled out Fearin Freddy. I called him Fearin Freddy. You'll meet the guy that's coming out here pretty soon in a little bit, and he's got little buddies around him now, since it's close to Easter. So he's got these little guys, and this guy's Peanut, and he's named after Nicole Bugalino's daughter from our first communion. And this is the Veterans in Recovery coin that will be going to them on the East Coast for Nick Sr. and his boy when I do the silver miles run from the victim impact that's there. It's either in Florida or Jersey or somewhere. I'll figure it out. And these are the Four Noble Truths to Suffering. We suffer, and the best way to we're going to suffer no matter what, and to we all suffer, so just to help somebody else that's suffering. So through the spirituality of imperfections, I just want to read this. Have we encountered an impenetrable roadblock in our pilgrimage, an unbridable chasm that mocks our need to know? If we can't define, prove, or somehow pin down spirituality, how can we ever hope to understand it? Rather than abandoning the quest, however, perhaps this very frustration signals that we should try a different route. Tradition as diverse as Buddhism, the Christian, and the Muslim agree that we speak most truly of the divine and therefore of the spiritual by recognizing what is not. Somehow this process of the passive exploring what something is not brings us closest to the place we are not, where we want to go. For there is a kind of spirituality in the recognition in our effort to understand spirituality. We have encountered something bigger than our efforts to capture it. We discover a helplessness before the word, the powerlessness that it is necessary beginning of spirituality itself. T.S. Eliot described it in this way: in order to arrive at what you do not know, you must go by way of which is the way of ignorance. In order to possess what you do not possess, you must go by the way of disposition. In order to arrive at what you are not, you must go through the way in which you are not. And what you do not know is the only thing you know, and what you own is what you do not own, and where you are is where you are not. And the story I wanted to read to you is one of my favorite ones out of this book, Spirituality Through Imperfections. It's when the bishop's ship stopped at a remote island for a day. He determined to use the time as profitably as possible. He strolled along the seashore and came across 3 fishermen mending their nets. In English, they explained to him, in broken English, they explained to him the centuries before they had been Christianized by missionaries. "We Christians," they said, proudly pointing to one another. The bishop was impressed. Did they know the Lord's Prayer? They had never heard of it. The bishop was shocked. What do you say? Then when you pray? "We lift eyes to heaven, we pray. We are 3, you are 3. Have mercy on us." The bishop was appalled at this primitive, the downright heretical nature of the prayer. So he spent the whole day teaching them the Lord's Prayer. The fishermen were poor learners, but they gave it all they had. And before the bishop sailed away the next day, he had the satisfaction of hearing them go through the whole formula without a fault. Months later, the bishop's ship happened to pass by those islands again, and the bishop, as he paced the deck saying his evening prayer, recalled with pleasure the 3 men on the distant island who were now able to pray thanks to his patient efforts. While he was lost in the thought, he happened to look up and noticed a spot of light in the east. The light kept approaching the ship, and the bishop gazed in wonder. He saw 3 figures walking on the water. The captain stopped the ship, and everyone leaned over the rails to see the sight. When they were within speaking distance, the bishop recognized his 3 friends, the fishermen. "Bishop," they explained, "we hear your boat go past island and come hurry meet you." What is it you want?" asked the awe-stricken bishop. "Bishop," they said, "we so sorry, we forgot lovely prayer. We say, 'Our Father in heaven, holy be your name, your kingdom come.' Then we forget. Please tell us prayer again." The bishop felt humbled. "Go back to your homes, my friends," he said, "and each time you pray, say, 'We are 3, you are 3, have mercy on us.'" So I think that was pretty cool. Also, I had this thing. It is a loving act to let others love us. When we find ourselves in a position of need, it can be easy for us to experience its humility and boredomsome. But we are given the opportunity to let those who love us express that in a very concrete way. The vulnerability we experience allows us a different experience of love. It is an act of generosity to let people be close to us, and we try to understand that they too are going through the feelings about what's happening or training and letting go of. The other day I was there's this guy that I keep running into, but he triggered something, and I can't remember what year it was, but I was in this house, and I was in this one room. There was a guy out here, and my road dog and his old lady were in a room. I hear screaming, and they say, "Trip, Trip, Trip, come here!" And I went in the room, because they were talking back and forth and arguing. The guy that was out in the room. Anyway, I was pulling him off, and he was stabbing my friend, and stabbing his girlfriend, and I remember the blood and stuff. But that's, But Fearin Freddy, because I was reliving that for a minute, with the PTSD of that, and PTSD can be pretty real, when you're experienced, it's like you're there. So, but Fearin Freddy, he came out and he was his little head, doing that, and I just got back to life source and my breath and things like that, and so we all have resentments, and little resentments that we go throughout, because we are, we all clash in different ways, and it's how we perceive and how we think of things. So I'm, constantly trying to retrain my mind and stuff. So with Fearin Freddy, and another one that I've pulled out of my imperfection is resenting Ronnie. Ronnie the resenting raccoon is the next one that I'll pull out. So this is Ronnie the resenting raccoon. Say hi, Ronnie. But with that story being said, that I was at that place at that time when that happened, I had the opportunity to first be introduced into the VA system, because I'd never really went through it and didn't really want to. But I ended up in a place called Joplin, Missouri, which is a great place, and I met some great people in Joplin, Missouri, the recovery, and then being there at the time, it was I was there 3 weeks before the tornado hit, and then I went to Arkansas. But anyway, and then I came back a couple months later and lived there. And there's this place in House Incorporated, and I just wanted to say, with people like Ed Hubner and and people in Joplin, and how the recovery community really got behind each other, and things that like that, like with Ed Hubner, that he becomes Santa Claus during Christmas time, and he's probably the best Santa I ever had, and ever seen, and he's really good with kids and everything, and he's done a stretch, you know, a couple of them, you know, and he's a good guy. And people like that, and like Kelly and Brian, they're still. I remember Brian. I'd come up on my with my bike. he would be like, didn't even hear you coming, bro. But he's the first one that gave me a hug and started, you know, and things that he said, and he's made a huge difference in my life and everything. And people like Jason Richard that actually during the tornado helped save people, you know, and things like that. And Jamie Delmont Schaefer, which is a cool chick. That's she's got a lot of clean time now, and she's a grandma now. Time goes fast, you know. So, and Crystal Jackson and Aaron, my old roommate that I had there in Joplin. And there's this lady that lives there. Her name's Pam Mueller. And should I say that name? I don't know. But anyway, since the beginning of you know, and things like that, maybe I shouldn't say. But I don't know. Anyway, Dr. King said, and one of my favorite sayings with Dr. King is, you don't have to see the whole stairway. All you have to do is take that first step. But I don't know how many places I've been that I've told the story that I first heard from Pam Mueller, and that's that we walk up these stairs, right? And I picture them being 12, and we get up to the top of the stairs. You know, we walk up our own stairs, and there's all these doors. There's doors on this side and doors on this side. As far as you can see, there's doors on each side. And you choose your door, and you go into the door, and you open it, and we're all there. Everybody's there, you know. So I like that, and I that around. But anyway, there's lady that I met there that I really love a lot, and her name's Kim Merriman, and her daughter. She's a biologist. She got clean and everything. I'm not gonna tell her story or anything, but she got clean, and she's got a lot of clean and sober time, and she is a biologist, and she's done a lot of good things down with you know, on the reservation down there in Oklahoma and stuff where she's at. But her daughter was murdered, and on the back of this card I've got Kim Merriman's name, and it's surrounded by all these people in Joplin. It's with Joplin Recovery. Anyway, our daughter's name was Emily Sue Zanne. She was born 01/01 of 1993, and she crossed over to the other side 8/26/2016, and it's never gone, never forgotten. And I don't know if you know or not, but and this is with the people on my wall, and that I'm doing victim impact to victim impact, like from Portland here. It's the first one is going to be Nick Portis, that wanted to be a Marine, that passed at age 17. That'll be dedicated to him, and Nicole Bungalino and Senior, and Eleanor Denise, and Jessica Davis, of course, will be dedicating those sober miles from Seattle to Boise, Idaho. But I have these scenes planted for them, and they're like little Venus flytraps, but they're sunflowers, and they pop up. And I have them planted outside my room, and I'm gonna plant them outside other veterans' rooms. So Emily's name will go on there, and I hope they catch her murderer, whoever murdered her. And so I love you, Kim, and I love you guys out in Joplin, and I can't wait to see all of you at House Inc. again, and Marianne and all them, because it's a really special place. So great spirit guides, thank you for guiding and giving strength, protection, and love. May we receive good energy from the universe and give that good energy back to the universe. create more smiles than frowns, more laughs than cries, more love than hate. In Jesus, Buddha, and Muhammad's name, Namaste!